for today's class, we're going to be talking about the different objectives of management. So, management has a group of objectives, and management is responsible, in fact, for setting and achieving objectives for an organization. Now, the main objective of any organization, of any firm, should be in order to use the human resources as well as material resources to the best possible advantage, that is to make optimum utilization of the available resources, fulfill the economic objectives of the organization or of the business by making sure that they are fully optimizing the material and human resources. So management attempts to accomplish the different goals of the business which have been set up. So they must be received from the fundamental view of the business. In any business, there will be several objectives, and the administration has the duty, has the responsibility to complete all of these objectives in an efficient and effective manner. So the objectives can be categorized into our organizational objectives, social objectives, and you have personal or individual objectives. Okay, so these are the three kinds of objectives that management can have. So the primary objective of any organization, of course, is to run the business enterprise smoothly with ensuring that there is profit-making objective. So profit-making objective is also one of the primary objectives of the business. So let's just look into these three main objectives a little bit more in depth. So firstly, organizational objectives. From the term organizational objectives, we can understand the objectives which have been set up by the organization. Okay, so these objectives are set up for the whole organization. So while fixing these objectives, the management will have to keep into consideration the different benefits of all the related parties, that is, of all the stakeholders in the business, whether it's the owner, the employee, the government, the consumers, the customers, and so on. So these are the So when setting the organizational objectives, management has to consider all of those different parties. And then this also fulfills organizational economic objectives, which are survival, profit, and growth. Okay. And then the organizational objectives may further be subclassified into three: survival, profit, and growth. Okay, so the main reason for an organization to carry out is to have profit, to earn profits, right? That is one of the basic reasons why any business starts up. And while they're having profit, they should also aim to survive for a long time, and at the same time they should also have continuous growth. So let's look into these sub-objectives. Firstly, survival. Now, every business wants to survive for a long time, so management should try to make positive decisions with regard to different business activities so as to ensure that the business survives for a long time. So the decisions that they're making, the objectives that they're making should not be for short term, but rather for long term. Okay, and then profit. Profit is very important for any business activity, for any organization, and it plays a very important role for business in order to run successfully over time. So it must be ensured by the management that adequate profit is earned by the business. So when they're setting up objectives, they have to ensure profit-making objective is at the core or one of the primary objectives, and also growth. Just like how you're having stability, you should also have growth, right? Just like how in case of work also, you cannot work the same thing, you want a promotion. So similarly, in case of businesses also, every business wants to grow. They do not want to remain stagnant. They want to advance to higher levels, right? So management must ensure growth of the business also. So growth can be in terms of sales, or in terms of the number of the employees, in terms of the diversification of their products or capital investment, and so on. So if these specific elements show an increasing trend, then it can be said that there is growth. That is, if there's increase in sales, if there are more employees, and if there are diverse products, if your capital investors are increasing, then it shows that the organization is growing rapidly. All right, so these are your organizational objectives. You have survival, profit, and growth. And next you have social objectives. So social objectives refer to those objectives which are for the benefit of the society. So it refers to the consideration of the interests of the society during managerial activities. Now, because businesses or because organizations have to survive in a society, they have to survive in among the group of people, and they're also using people, right? So they have to keep in mind the interests of the society at large. So an organization is established in a society and it runs through the resources which are made available by the society, as a result of which the organization is responsible to keep into account different benefits for the society, whether they have to keep in mind the environmental impact of their business, right? So when it comes to noise pollution, air pollution, and then when it comes to even land, water pollution, all of these you have to keep in mind. And additionally, they have to also keep in mind the corporate social responsibility that they're having, the responsibility towards society. All of those should also be fulfilled. So as part of a society, every organization, whether it is a business organization or even a not-for-profit organization also, they have to fulfill certain obligations which will consistently create economic value for various constituents of the society. So social objectives are defined as nothing more than the fulfillment of responsibility of an organization towards society. Okay, social objectives are fulfillment of responsibility of an organization towards the society. Now, under this particular objective, management will promise to assure health, safety, and even price control. So the main social objectives for management will include making available employment opportunities, right? This will help the society to grow, and then to make environment safe from getting polluted, right? We talked about environmental pollution, how the companies or how organizations can reduce environmental pollution, and then to contribute in improving living standard by helping them, maybe by donating now and then providing basic amenities like schools, crashes to employees also. That is taking care of the employees' families. If they're taking care of the employees' families, the employees will be happy, they'll be satisfied, and they'll be working better for the organization. Okay, so those are your social objectives. And finally, and most important, you have personal or individual objectives. So if you remember when it comes to Taylor and Fayol, when they're giving you, remember they talked about how the interest of the individual should merge with the interest of the organization, right? So when it comes to personal or individual objectives, it's nothing more than the objectives of individuals, those who are working within the organization. So it refers to the objectives to be determined with respect to the employees of the organization, and the employees should be sensitive resource for the company. Employees are human resources, right? So they are very sensitive, and they also have, the organizations or the companies have to keep in mind that as time changes, as the trend changes, the demands and the needs and the wants of their employees also will be changing. Okay, so it is highly imperative, it's very important for an organization to take care of the feelings of their employees. So the organization will consist of different types of individuals. There are those who care more about money. There are those who care more about job stability. So they have to satisfy these diverse needs of their employees. So it is without any doubt the fact that satisfaction of employees means rapid growth and rapid progress for the company, because when employees are happy, they're going to work harder, right? So the organization or the company has the duty to ensure that the employees are satisfied. Now, individuals may seek to satisfy various needs such as competitive salaries, perks, and then recognition, approval, personal growth, development. All of these are different examples of the needs and wants of your employees. So management has to do its best in order to merge these personal goals with organizational goals in order to achieve harmony within the organization. So this fact is of tremendous importance and should never be forgotten. Okay, it should never be forgotten that the organization runs upon the work of the employees, and as a result of which employees should be kept happy, employees should be kept satisfied. So the main objective of management towards employees are to give deserving remuneration, and then to provide them with good working environment, and also to provide them with a specific share in the profit. Okay, so these are the different objectives of management. So moving on, next you have the importance of management. Now, in the absence of management, it's very important to note that no organization can run successfully. Okay, so it's very important for any organization to have effective management. So what are the different reasons why we need management? So management helps in achieving group goal. As we've seen earlier, management tries to, with the help of leadership, with the help of control and coordination, it tries to bring together different groups of people, right? Through staffing, we won't just take into consideration only, let's say, only people from a specific group, but rather we're going to mix and add different people to the group, right? So management tries to integrate the objectives of individual along with the organizational goal. That's very important. We just spoke about it. And management also tries to direct the efforts of all the individuals in the common direction of achieving organizational goal. So management also tries to ensure that all of the personal individual objectives are all directed towards achieving of the main goal. So management will try to arrange the different factors of production, the different factors that you're having: men, material, machinery, and money, right? All of these different factors of production, it'll try to bring them together, assemble them, and organize these resources in such a way such that it will help to achieve the organizational goal. So it directs group efforts towards achievement of predetermined goals. And by defining objectives of the organization clearly, there will be no wastage of time, no wastage of money, as well as no wastage of the effort put in. Okay, when they're able to define clearly what is to be done, how it is to be done, it helps to cut down all of these different wastages. So management converts disorganized resources, your men, material, machinery, money, and so on, into useful resources. So these resources are going to be coordinated, directed, and controlled in such a manner that the enterprise work towards attainment of goals. Okay, so that is how management will help achieve group goal, by directing the efforts of all these different factors of production towards one area, okay, towards one way only, and that is to achieve a particular group goal, that is the organizational goal. And second point is that it helps to improve efficiency. Management helps to improve efficiency. So managers, they try their best to reduce the cost and to improve productivity with minimum wastages of resources. So management will insist on efficiency and effectiveness in the work through the different functions that are having: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. So with the help of these different functions, they will try to reduce the costs and improve productivity, and as such increase efficiency. Okay, next point, it helps in achieving personal objectives. So management will help you to, or before that, it helps to create a dynamic organization. Now, organizations have to survive in dynamic environment, right? Because it keeps on changing. Today the needs are different, tomorrow the needs are going to be different. So it is a very dynamic environment, and the organizations have to survive in that world. So managers have to keep making changes in the organization in order to match the environmental changes. So the employees in the organization also are generally going to be resistant to change. They don't like to make changes. They prefer to be where they are, how they are, to work as how they used to. But an efficient management team or an efficient manager should be able to motivate employees in order to adapt changes willingly, by convincing them that changes are not just beneficial for the organization, but they'll also improve the employees' work also in the competitive field. So an efficient manager will be capable of getting the employees to change their views or change their minds, and to adopt the practices, and also to be dynamic, just like how the organization is dynamic. All right. And then management helps in achieving personal objectives. Now, an efficient manager is one who brings maximum prosperity for employer as well as employees. Okay, an efficient manager is one who helps increase the profits, not just for employers, but also the employees as well. So the managers will lead the people in such a manner that, along with organizational goal, the individual goals of employees are also achieved. And as organizational goal and individual goal are moving towards in one direction, so when the individual wants to earn more, the organization will also want to increase the maximum production, right? Organizational goal and individual goal move in one direction. How? Because when the individual wants, like if the employee wants to earn more income, or if the investors want to earn more, it is a given fact that before they earn more, the company has to earn more, right? So the important part, or the common aspect here, is that they both have to work together in the same direction if they want to increase, or if they want to achieve one specific goal. Okay, so with the help of with the help of the employees can earn more by producing more. When they are producing more, the company will be able to sell more, or the company will be able to provide more goods and services, as a result of which the earning is more, and then the investors also will be earning more. So that is how management helps to achieve personal objectives. And next point is that management helps also in the development of the society. Now, as we stated earlier, management has different responsibilities towards the society, right? It has to help the society to grow because they are working in the society itself. So efficient management always has multiple objectives, and they should give due importance also to social objectives towards the different groups of people, such as their employees, the customers, the suppliers, and so on and so forth. Not just to people who are working within the organization, but also to people who are outside the organization, the customers, and then the service providers, the suppliers, and so on. Okay, so the management should insist on providing quality goods to ensure that people are always happy, and then they should also provide a competitive salary to ensure their employees are happy. They should also create proper employment opportunities for those who are not in the organization yet, but who want to work in the organization in the future. Okay, so by increasing production, management also contributes to increase in GDP. So GDP will help to lead growth into the nation. Okay, so with the increase in production, it'll lead to increase in GDP, and as such, it'll lead to growth of the country. And then management brings about harmony in work. Remember, there was a principle of management which talks about harmony, not discord, right? So management helps to bring harmony in work. So in any organization, it is a given that employees are going to come from different backgrounds. They're going to have different ethnicities, they're going to have different races, they're going to have different cultures and different attitudes also towards work. Now, if everyone starts following their own style of work, right? If, for example, one person is used to working from home, another person is used to working in an office, another person is used to working on a computer, another person is used to writing in books, right? So they all have the different skill sets, they all have their different attitudes for work. Now, if they all start working according to how they wish, how they want, it's going to lead to a lot of confusion. At the same time, it's going to lead to discord. Okay, so management should try its best to lead people in such a way that it will bring uniformity in the actions and also lead to harmony. Okay, management should give directions, it should guide, they should motivate the employees in such a way that there should be uniformity and harmony in the action of the employees. And the next point is that it helps in optimum utilization of resources. So management utilizes all physical and human resources productively. Okay, they're going to make the best use of the available resources. So this leads to efficacy in the management. It leads to proper and efficient utilization and leads to efficiency in your management. So management provides maximum utilization of scarce resources by selecting the best possible alternative use in industry from out of various uses. Okay, so if they say that their resources are less, they're going to look for the best possible way in order to make sure, or in order to work out these problems. Okay, so if there is a specific resource that they're having and that resource is high in demand but less in supply, they have to find the best alternative use for it. Okay, and it also makes use of experts, professionals, and other services, which leads to the use of their skills, knowledge, and power utilization in order to avoid wastage. So if employees and machines are producing its maximum, there is no use, if machines and employees are producing, then there is no underemployment of any resources. Okay, so if employees are working to their best or to their maximum capacity, at the same time, if machines are also working to the maximum capacity, remember we're talking about their maximum capacity, not overworking. Okay, let's say if an employee can work for 8 hours, but they're making him work for 10 hours, you're overutilizing the capacity of your employees. Okay, and because of that, they're going to get tired more often, and then they may not be able to work the next day. That is overutilization. What managers try to do in organizations is to make effective use. They're going to make them work to their best capacity without overworking them. Okay, so to their maximum capacity, and that is how they are going to ensure optimum utilization of resources, so that there is no underemployment of any of the resources. And management also helps to reduce costs. It gets maximum results through minimum output by proper planning and by using minimum input and getting maximum output. So just like in case of when you have to go out also, if you plan properly, you can estimate what goes where, right? You can estimate how much money is going to go towards traveling, how much money is going to go towards lodging, how much money is going to go towards food. If you're able to allocate these the costs properly, you will be able to reduce the costs which are going to be involved. So management uses physical, human, and financial resources in such a manner which results in the best combination, and as such this will help in cost reduction. Okay, they're able to create a kind of, let's just call it as a portfolio. Okay, they're able to create a combination of all of the different resources that they're having in the organization in such a manner that there will be it'll lead to the best combination, and as a result it'll help to reduce the cost. And it also helps, the next point is that it helps to establish a sound organization. So if there is no overlapping of efforts, there is a smooth and coordinated efforts. So in order to establish a sound organizational structure, it is one of the main objectives of the management, which is similar to objective of organization, in order to establish effective authority and responsibility relationship. Okay, when we're talking about establishment of sound organization, in order to establish a sound organizational structure, it is important to fix the authority and responsibility. Okay, the authority and responsibility, and to ensure that everybody in the organization knows about this a clear hierarchy. Okay, they know about the authority and responsibility relationship, that is, who is accountable to whom, who has to answer to whom, and who can give directions, who can give orders, who can give instructions to whom. We also have to ensure that there is a clear line between who is a superior and who is a subordinate. So management should fill up all of these different positions with the right persons, having the right skills, training, and qualification. Okay, so in the staffing function, the management should try their best to find who is the best person for the job, having the right skills, training, and qualification, and all the jobs should be clear to everyone. That is, who is the manager and who is the subordinate, or who is the superior and who is the employee under that. Okay, so they should clearly establish a sound organization this way. And the next point is it helps in establishment of equilibrium. So management enables the organization to survive in a changing environment. Remember, the environment is dynamic, it keeps on changing, and the management will help the organization to survive in changing environment. It should help in it keeps in touch with the changing environment. With a change in external environment, the initial coordination within the organization should also be changed. Okay, when there's a change in the external environment, in the organization also things should be changed. So the organization should adapt to the changing demand of the market and changing needs of the society. So if there's a change in the external environment, there should also be a change within the internal environment, or within the company, within the organization. So management is responsible for the growth and survival of the organization as such. And finally, it is essential for prosperity of the society as well. And when it comes to the organization, it is important for it, as we've mentioned earlier, it is part of the society, so it should try its best also to promote the society. It should lead to growth in the society. So efficient management leads to better economic production, which helps in turn to increase the welfare of the people. And good management often makes a difficult task easier by avoiding wastage of scarce resources. With the help of efficient management, the difficult tasks are going to be made easier, and as a result of which, there's also going to be savings, right, when they avoid wastage of any resource. So it helps improve standard of living at the same time, and it increases the profit, which is beneficial to business and society, and as a result of which the society will get maximum output at minimum cost by creating also employment opportunities, which will further generate income. And organization also should come up with new products and researches which are going to be beneficial to the society. Okay, and the next point is that it helps in increasing profits. With proper guidance or with proper management, when you're able to reduce the cost, in this way you're going to be able to increase also the profits of the organization. And finally, effective leadership. One of the important functions of management is that of leadership, right? So the managers are going to be guiding, directing, motivating all of the employees, and this will be effective leadership. Okay, so these are the importances of management. So next you have levels of management. Now, as we've stated earlier, there should be a hierarchy, right? We should know who's a superior, who's a subordinate. So what are the different levels? Now, any organization may have various levels of management. So this division of management or segmenting of the management of our organization into different levels is very important in order to maintain the productivity and work performance of employees. Now, the term level refers to people who are arranged in series or who are arranged in steps or groups. So levels of management refer to nothing more than the arranged managerial positions in an organization. Okay, levels of management is nothing more than the arrangement of managerial positions in the organization. So the number of levels of management in an organization will depend upon the size of the organization, the technology that is involved, at the same time also the range of production. Okay, so mostly it depends upon the size of the organization. The most important point to keep in mind is that it depends mostly upon the size of the organization, and other elements that could come into play for the levels could be technology and even the range of production. So when there is a change in the size of the business or the workforce, there would also be a change in the number of levels in the management. So basically there are two main levels of management. You have your administrative level management and also operative level management. So administrative level management are for the administrators, those who are going to be taking decisions, and then you have operative level management, those who are carrying out the operations. Okay, so administrative management is concerned with the thinking function, such as determination of the policies, planning, fixation of standards, and so on. Whereas you have the operative management, which is concerned mostly with the doing function, okay, which includes how to make use of the resources that you're having, the labor that you're having, materials, machinery, money, okay? And also it includes implementation of policies which have been laid down by the administrative management, okay? And also directing the various resources, how to achieve the organizational goal. But however, when it comes to real life, it's quite difficult to determine or it's quite difficult also to draw a clear line between these two functions. We cannot exactly say that these people are the ones who are only going to be doing the thinking function, that is only going to determine the policies, and we cannot also say that these managers are the ones who are only going to be guiding the workers towards the doing, because when we're carrying out different activities, even the ones who are concerned with only implementation will also sometimes have to carry out the function of thinking, or will have to carry out the function of planning. Okay, so in order to carry out various activities, people at different levels are assigned with different amounts of authority and responsibility. So a chain of authority is often created from top to bottom of the organization, and the chain is often divided into three parts, which results into three levels of management. Okay, so mostly you have three levels of management. This is most generally. However, it can be more, it can be less, depending upon the size of the organization, depending upon the nature of the organization. So the level of management determines the chain of control and the quantity of power and position. When we're talking about power and position, it talks about your authority and responsibility, which is provided to any manager. Okay, so the main levels of management you have are your top level management, and then that is the first level, and then you have your middle level management, and thirdly you have your lower level management. Okay, so these are the main three levels of management: top level management, middle level management, and you have your lower level management. So let's just quickly look into who the top level management, what they do, and what are the different powers and authorities that are having. So top level management basically consists of the board of directors and managing directors. They are the people at the top, and they have the supreme power since they manage the policies and procedures of any organization. So the main responsibility of the top level management is planning and coordination, and the roles and responsibilities of this level can be said to be creating the objectives and policies, and then instructing giving instructions to the different departments for preparation of budgets, schedules, and policies. Okay, they have the authority to guide or to instruct people who are below them, okay, the levels who are below them. And then they can also prepare pre-mediated plans and policies, and then they can appoint executives at central level or departmental heads. Because they are the top level, they can appoint heads for people who, for departments who are below them. All right, and since it consists of board of directors, the top administration is accountable towards the shareholders as well for performance of the organization. So if there's anything, they have to keep the interests of the shareholders in mind. They have to keep the interests of the stakeholders in mind. And they are also responsible for the harmonization and control. Harmony between the outsiders and the insiders, that is between the shareholders and the investors, and also the people who are working with the organization. Okay, and it also guides the organization in the right direction towards achieving of the goals and objectives that have been set by them only. And then organizing activities to be performed by persons working at middle level is also controlled by the top level. And the top level management also assigns jobs to various individuals who are working at the middle level. Okay, so because they are the top, they have the ability, they have the authority and responsibility to control the people below them. So that is about the top level management. Remember, the top level management basically consists of the board of directors and managing directors, and they are often termed as the creamy level of management. All right, and then you have the next level, which is the middle level management. Middle level management is also called as the executive level of management. So these include your line managers and your departmental managers. Okay, these include your line managers or departmental managers, and these people are directly accountable to the top management for the functioning of their various respective departments. So the main role comes under the directional and managerial functions of an organization, and they act as a link between the top level managers and the low level managers. So most normally the top level managers will not interact with the lower level managers, but they will leave the interaction to the middle level management. All right, and they also exercise the functions of top level for their department as they make plans and policies for their department, organize and collect their resources. Now, when it comes to middle level managers, they are the heads at their places, right? They're the heads of their department. So basically, they are the top at their places, and they can guide, or they have higher authority and responsibility at their level of work. Now, the roles of these managers could be the main role will be in the implementation of policies and plans that have been prepared by the top level managers. The top level managers will prepare the plans, and the middle level managers will implement the plans. At the same time, they can also interpret the policies and plans to the lower level managers. Okay, they will implement them, and they will also interpret, they will also guide the lower level groups, okay, lower level managers into carrying out of the work. They will only explain the main plans and policies framed by the top level management to the lower level. And they also have the authority to prepare plans for the subunits of their respective departments. So if they are the planning department, if they are the advertising department, so under the advertising department, let's say maybe we'll have a further sub-departments, let's say maybe advertising in the form of social media, advertising through print media, advertising through television. Okay, let's just call these as sub-departments. So they also have the responsibility and the authority to plan for their sub-departments at the same time. And they can also actively contribute in the guidance and employment of supervisory level of management. And at the same time, they can organize activities for their department by executing the different plans and policies that have been made. And generally, middle level managers are the heads of some departments, so they can organize all the resources and activities for their department. All right, they are the heads for their departments, so they can control their own departments. Now, assessment and of performance of junior managers can also be done by the middle level managers. So because they are heads of their own departments, under them also they can have sub managers, so they can also assess the performance of these junior managers. And timely and important reports of data to be sent to the top management. They can prepare the reports and submit the reports to the top management. And motivation of the sub managers is also the role of this middle level management. And also it is their duty to find out, recruit, select, appoint the required employees for their own department. They are going to be in charge of the recruitment of their own employees. With help, of course, they'll be having the HR department, right? So with the help of all these departments, they will be able to select, recruit, train, and appoint their different employees. So besides that, also they have also the responsibility to cooperate with other departments for smooth functioning. If you have multiple departments, production, planning, sales, and so on, they have to work together, because remember, the main goal here is to achieve organizational goal, right? So they have to work together in order to ensure smooth functioning of the organizational functions. All right, and finally you have the third tier, or you have the third or final level, which is called as the lower level of management. So when we're talking about the lower level of management, it's also called as supervisory level or the operative level of management. And this level mostly constitutes supervisors, foremen, and first-line managers. And the authority of these managers is quite limited. Okay, they have a lot of responsibility, but with lesser authority. And the quality and quantity of output depends upon the efficiency of this level of managers. So basically, the entire work depends upon the lower level managers, and they are the ones who are going to pass out instructions to workers, and they'll also provide reports to the middle level management, and they're also responsible for maintaining discipline among the workers. So the main role will include representing the problems and grievances of the workers before the middle level management. Okay, so the lower level managers are basically going to act as liaisons or figureheads who are going to talk to the middle level managers if there are any problems or if there are anything that the lower level workers need. Then the supervisory level managers are directly linked with subordinates, so they are the right persons to understand the problems and grievances of their subordinates, and they pass these problems to middle level managers because they are working together with the lower level, with the workers, because the lower level management are the ones who are actually overseeing the work that is to be done. They are the ones who know the different problems that are being faced by the workers, right? So they are the only ones who are capable of talking, or the only ones who are capable of bringing out the problems that are faced by the workers to the middle level managers, and then middle level will pass on the data to the top level managers. And the lower level managers are also responsible for maintaining good working conditions and also developing healthy relations between the superior and the subordinate, and they also should provide a supportive work environment which should improve relationship between the supervisor and the subordinate. At the same time, they should also look for the safety of the workers. They should ensure the workers are safe and secure in the place that they're working. And then the lower level managers should also help the middle level managers with the process of recruitment, selection, training, and appointing of the workers. And they should also communicate with workers and welcome their suggestions. Now, this is very important because an organization runs upon individuals, right? The individual runs properly and effectively only if human resources are happy. So the lower level managers have that responsibility to communicate with workers and welcoming their suggestions. And then this level of managers should encourage the workers to take initiative, and they should also welcome suggestions and reward them for good suggestions. Okay, they should encourage their workers, they should encourage the employees to give suggestions, and they will also reward them when the suggestions are good. That means they should involve them in decision making. So they should try to maintain precise quality of standard to ensure steady flow of output at the same time. And supervisory level managers should ensure that quality standards are maintained by the workers because they are the ones who are keeping track of how the work is done, right? So they have to ensure that the workers are providing quality services or quality goods to the customers. And they're also responsible for boosting the morale of the workers and developing the team spirit in them. So they are the ones who are responsible for motivating employees, and they have to ensure that the employees are happy, that the employees are going to be they're going to be satisfied with the work that they are doing. And finally, they should also try to minimize any wastage of materials because they're the ones who are keeping track of the work, right? So they should ensure that employees, while they are providing standard or they're providing good quality goods, they should ensure that there is less wastage of materials as well, and this will help to reduce the cost, which will help to increase the profit of the organization. Okay, so these are the three levels of management: top level, middle level, and lower level management. So if you look at the figure also, you see how the lower level management is the one who's helping the middle level management, and then the middle level management will be the one who will be helping the top level management. Okay, so that is it for today.